I think that if all there is social life, and that is all you're promoting, then yes, there is always a concern that that the message will get lost, and all that will happen is that people will just fraternize to the point of intermarriage. However, if the thrust of what you're doing and the purpose is properly communicated and shared, then what we are doing here is to find God, not simply each other's favors and graces in life, but to focus upon what He has said and what He wants of us, then there's no reason why we should feel so insecure. On the contrary, the more confident a person is, the more knowledgeable that they make themselves, the more they research their own position and they relate it to the outer world, the less shell-shocked they will be, the less at risk and vulnerable they will be when they do meet up with the outer world and the outer sphere. And of course, the worst thing that can happen to a Jewish person, for instance, is to be so sheltered and to live so much in their own bubble and not to actually study what relates to the outer world. And then one day, either they or one of their children or members of their family is going to go out there, and they won't know what to do with themselves. And of course, the worst thing of all is that as a people, as a nation, our raison d'être, our very purpose to be a Jewish people is to relate to the rest of the world. Otherwise, we don't need to exist. Otherwise, we could just be anything else. So therefore, what God has required of us is to, in each of us in our own way, according to the level of our ability, but also we have to make a big effort, is to actually be trained in knowledge and ability so that we are teachers of Torah in the way that the Torah has asked us to be, to the rest of the world, to teach the morality and so on, to study the scriptures with the peoples of the world, not according to the Christian tradition, not according to scriptures of the Islamic tradition, but to teach the scriptures that are the 24 books of the Hebrew Bible, as has been canonized, with the understanding that's been carried down generation to generation, from Moshe and even before until this day. This is our job to do it. If we won't do it, then why should we complain when others take our scriptures and do injustice with them, as far as we're concerned?
The Jewish experience in the past centuries in Europe hasn't always been positive, so I guess that there was a reaction of closing up a bit. What would be a good strategy in the current time and age for reaching out to those who are interested without inviting the danger?
Well, I think what Jewish people now need to realize is that we can confidently put behind us the unending misery of oppressions that have forbidden us to do what is in fact our job. So until now we have survived in order to bring ourselves to the point that we can do this job, not that we can ignore it in comfort. What we therefore need to be able to do is to actually construct and participate in convocations, in meetings, which encourage prayer, which encourage study, which encourage experience of that emanates from the Torah celebrations, and apply them to the rest of the world and share them with people from wherever they want to come from, and teach as well at the same time. I think that if we do that, if we actually are proactive in that manner, we have nothing to fear. And the main reason why we have nothing to fear is because we can be assured that the Almighty gives us His blessing, that we will not be vulnerable thereby, because we are doing what He's asked us to do, and He will give us the protection that we need. So long as it's not a matter which is personal here, it's a matter which is quite objective, that when we apply ourselves to the purpose of the Torah, the Almighty will certainly protect us from any possible lurking dangers. Now, a person has got to have their head screwed on with these things. Many people who come forward to ask for instruction, teaching, guidance are genuine. People are genuine. There will be some people who are not genuine. They may wish to missionize and come in some sort of subterfuge to try and do that. Well, the best thing in that circumstance is to actually have attached to each place or center where we have Noahide study and prayer, like you have one here in Rotterdam, and please God soon we'll have one set up shortly in Liverpool in the UK, is to ensure that we have leadership that is experienced pastorally and congregationally to know, to tell from one client from another. Yeah, and this vulnerability or danger is just as true for people who are turning up to synagogue.